compared to when we first saw like the original cut on Connor's laptop. I think it's come a long way, and I think it's just been a really good experience overall.
I guess I like hung out with Connor and David a lot, so I got to see bits and pieces of it put together, but seeing the final product, music really makes a difference. I don't know, that's the biggest part to me, was the music, and how it all came together was really, really cool.
It was kind of surreal to see the finished product, because Connor and I have been working on it since the beginning of December, really, and it was just really cool to kind of see it all come together.
I have to say that I'm very proud to be a cast member on this project, because everyone's so talented and I love all of them. So go guys.
For me, it was just, like David said, it was really surreal, just because, when you read the script for the first, 5 or 6 times, it's like, okay, like this is a real thing, and you can kind of like picture it in your head, and just kind of like seeing it as, exactly what I pictured in my head, which was super cool. So.
All right, is there any questions from the audience? Anyone have any questions about how we made the film? Yes?
What was your total cost to make the film from start to finish?
All right, our total cost from start to finish, David and I have handled all the financial stuff here. Well, we had some funds from the previous short film I had done, Leaf and Lyra, which we had that come out on DVD on Amazon, so the sales from that helped us buy some extra equipment that we needed. And we had an Indiegogo campaign in the fall, I believe? In the fall, it was like, maybe, no, it was in January. Yeah, that time. And we had some awesome contributions from that, and those who donated are getting their rewards in the next week or two. And so the next time we do a film, we're definitely doing that, because that really, really helped. That's where most of our funds came from. And we had some other donations as well. And something that really was a huge cost save for us was what used to be the Distinguished Filmmakers Network gave us a loan of over $1,200 of Sennheiser audio equipment that we used for the weekend while we were filming, and that was fantastic. So our total budget that weekend was around $130 just to make this film. That doesn't include the equipment that we already had, which if you were to add all that up, that'd be like $2,000, $3,000. But we accumulated that over the past couple years. So to answer your question, we didn't even have $200 and we made that. Yes, Joseph Watts, do you have a question?
Hi, Connor.
Hi, Joe.
Yeah, so what was your inspiration behind the script and story?
That's a good question. Joe asked what the inspiration was behind the script and story. Well, back in December, David and I were talking about what kind of like short videos and stuff we could do after we did Spectrum with Joe. We're trying to figure out what we should do next. And we just had all these ideas floating around, nothing really concrete. And one night we were just walking around on campus at Georgia Southern. We're both film majors there. And we both were like, it would be so much easier if we just made something in Ringgold where we know everybody and where we could do, work with people that we met or haven't met that we'll get to meet along the way. And just that night we talked about what kind of locations there were in Ringgold, what we knew we could get, what kind of people we knew, who we might be able to talk to, and thinking about what resources we had available, we came up with the original story for Displacement, which we wrote down on paper that night. And, I mean, I don't know, where did the story come about? What do you think, David? Do you have anything to say?
We pretty much just threw around a whole bunch of different ideas and kind of landed on Displacement, and Connor started writing it over Christmas break and realized the ending wasn't quite what we wanted. And so we kind of sat back down and rewrote from half on. And it kind of came out of nowhere.
Okay, I don't know. Manning, do you even know what's... Oh, okay. Okay, so that first night in December, David and I were both super excited that we had another idea for a film. I don't know if we thought much about what we were writing that night, because the final film, there's a very big part of that was in the... Okay, so in the original story, we had where Elle had this, well, she wasn't named Elle yet, but she had this very specific task that she had to do as one of her chores, and it revolved around, we didn't know exactly it was going to be like climbing, or she had to like chop something down, or something she had to do, and it was her thing. And we're going to establish that at the beginning of the movie, and at the end, in Elle's absence, because we didn't know exactly, we just knew that Elle was going to be gone at one point, which that was shortened a lot in the final thing. But Saul would have to do this chore, and we had that he was going to die at the end of the movie. That changed very quickly. I was like, okay, David, I'm going to write this over the break. It's going to be great. And then like a week later, I was starting the first page, and I was like, I can't write for this ending.
I got to read like that original ending, and this was like right after David asked if I'd be interested in the role, and I was like, wow, this is like a heavy film, okay?
But
I was on board.
But we decided to change it because, well, when we were sitting down in January, we came back from the holidays, and David's like, oh, so how's the script? I'm like, well, I got like a page. And I told him that the ending was just super dark, and he agreed. And David just kind of took a second, and he's like, what if we went back to the guy? Because we had in the story already that Norman's character was going to turn around and say, hey, I have had a similar situation with my dad. But we didn't actually do anything with it. And David said, why don't we make that the ending and have everyone make up? And it just totally changed the film morally. And I think that's really when the film started to pick up momentum emotionally, is when we figured out that that was the ending. Like, basically in December we established what the setting was going to be and what the look of the film was going to be and what kind of characters we'd have, but we didn't know what exactly their roles would be until we figured out that that was the ending. And that's, to answer your question, Joe, that's where we got the inspiration for the story.